Hi guys, and welcome back to Questions with Connie. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks so much for subscribing. If you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe and notification bell if you happen to like this video. And also, of course, hit the like button if you like the content. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about superstitions. Ooh. So, I've just, come across some things that sparked curiosity in me. For example, the other day I was thinking about the opening of umbrellas. You know, how you were always, or I was always told as a kid, don't open an umbrella inside the house. It's bad luck. And, it was this really bad thing that you just don't do, right? So I just wondered, where does that come from? Why do we have that saying, and what's the origin story of it, right? Because there are so many things that you find out randomly that we have just incorporated into our daily lives without even thinking about them, that they actually have a place that they come from. So I was curious and I started to kind of look into it, and by looking into it, I just mean did some quick Google diving and found out some information that I thought was interesting to share. So, have you ever wondered that? Have you ever not opened an umbrella because you were afraid of the bad vibes that might come to you from it? Well, stick around on this video and you will find out why, just like I did. I was wondering, how long have umbrellas even been around? So umbrellas apparently have been around since 3500 BC. That's insane. I'm just, I think sometimes when I look at the history or origin of something and I'm not familiar with exactly how long it's been around, and I find out or I look into it, I'm pretty blown away at how old some of the technology that we use today, how old it is and where it came from. And I'm just kind of mind blown as to how someone that long ago thought of something so relatable and so relevant to this day. But anyhow, so I looked into it, and yeah, they've been around since 3500 BC, and they originated in China. And so China was the first to make them out of bamboo and animal skins. And then later they also created the paper parasols. And they were also the first to create a water repellent version of the umbrella by using, I believe it was lacquer and some other things to make the paper parasols water insoluble to protect themselves from the rain. I was also curious, well, what did they use before that? Besides, maybe their hands or a piece of something, maybe I was even thinking, just because of all the days that I've seen Naked and Afraid and all those other survival shows, that maybe they use some form of giant leaf. But no, I guess the search I did was a little more current, because it just mentioned that they use cloaks, or basically coats, in other words, before umbrellas were a thing. So the other thing I was curious about is why. So what's the reason? Like, why don't we want to open an umbrella indoors, and why is that still relevant? So the story I got was that back in Egyptian times, which again, imagining Egyptian times is not something I equate with someone holding an umbrella personally, but when I read this, it just kind of boggled my mind. So back in Egyptian times, they believed that it was a disrespect to the god of sun, Ra. And so if you opened the umbrella indoors, you would bring the vengeance of Ra down upon your house. So it was just a real big no-no. And it's just crazy to think that something from Egyptian times, like dropping a pebble in water, just kind of echoed through time. And even now we have that superstition that still exists, which is don't do it, don't open the umbrella indoors, you're going to bring bad luck on yourself. But the other thing I was curious about, which is never really discussed, if you do it and you accidentally open the umbrella, what then? What do you do? Like, what do you do to undo the bad vibes, that's gonna come down on you? Is there any way to undo it, or are you just doomed? Because I know that I've done it before. When I was a kid, I was curious. I did everything you can think of that you shouldn't do. That was me. But anyway, I definitely have opened an umbrella before indoors, and even now to this day I think I've done it intentionally just because I think that there's a ton of power behind your beliefs or disbelief in something. So, anyhow, I Googled what exactly you're supposed to do to counter this bad vibe, and it's very simple. And without further ado, it is positive affirmations. Who knew it? So basically, you just walk around your house saying great things, positive things about yourself and your home. I love my home. My home is beautiful. Things are wonderful in my home. I guess something along that line, and you just kind of help to sweep the bad vibes out by ushering in the good ones. And I think that in general, when it comes to superstitions and why they have such a stronghold on society, is just because I think that in general, when you believe in something or you put weight behind something mentally, then that tends to carry through in the sense of, for example, when you buy a car and you haven't really noticed other people driving that car, you haven't seen it, but then all of a sudden, because it's in your mind, you see it everywhere. You're seeing it constantly. You can't stop seeing it. So I think it's one of those things, same way as people say, if you're looking for the good, you'll find it, or if you're looking for the bad, you'll find it. 1000% agree with that. I think that's an accurate statement. So I think that if you believe in a superstition, then, by default, you're going to seek out or look for the bad luck that's related to it happening, or vice versa. If you think something's good luck, then you're going to look for the good that happens and then associate it with it. But that's just kind of how I look at it. Of course, I definitely think that some things do hold vibes and energy, same as like how they've scientifically proven that crystals definitely do give off, when they're giant enough in the earth, in caves and things, do give off energy. That is a actual quantifiable, scientifically proven, thing. So because of that, I definitely think that if you believe in something, it holds power. And same thing as if if something has energy, the same way that, if a TV is on, but the screen isn't showing or facing you, but you can kind of feel the energy or the magnetic vibes, whatever it is. Same as if someone who just really can't stand you walks into a room and it's like the tension gets thick in the air. I think that, those things aren't necessarily something tangible, but they're absolutely something that we know is real. So because of that, I think, take things with a grain of salt. If you believe in something, then it has power. If you don't, then maybe that has power too. But I think it's interesting to look into these superstitions, so I am definitely looking into possibly doing a little line of videos called Superstitious Sundays. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's a good idea, if you'd like to see some content about superstitions, maybe just some quick little blurbs in regards to what they are, where they came from, what they mean, and let me know, and I'll definitely see about doing some more videos about that. But adding to this one, another one that I thought was definitely interesting to look into, because I just think that it gives these guys a bad rap, is the whole superstition against black cats. I love animals, always have loved animals, and I just think that it's pretty mean to put any kind of superstitious bad weight behind any particular breed or type of animal, because then you could inadvertently cause harm or cause people not to adopt that type of animal. So I think that's just kind of mean. So I don't personally believe that black cats are bad luck. Honestly, the sweetest, most affectionate cat I've ever been around was a black cat. And honestly, if I owned a cat, hello, I would definitely own a black cat for sure. But I think they're awesome. I think cats are awesome in general. I think all animals are awesome. I love dogs. I'm definitely more of a dog person personally, but I'm just saying that I think, animals in general are good vibes. But I don't personally own any, just putting that out there. Not because I don't like them, but just because my lifestyle isn't really conducive to taking the type of care that you would need to dedicate to an animal. So I know that because of that, it just wouldn't be fair to own an animal. And I am definitely trying to travel more, not less. So that would definitely not be conducive to owning a pet for me personally. But I think that black cats are sweet and awesome, just like any other. So I definitely think that that's just an awful superstition to have, or for there to exist. But I did look into it to see exactly where it comes from and why it ever came into being. So apparently it is as old as possibly the 13th century. That's crazy, but it also makes me think of the whole beginning and whole vibe of Hocus Pocus, and how, you know, Binks is a black cat and the dad just instantly is like, ugh, get away from me, you beast. But because of that, I just think that it's kind of crazy, you know, that it's been around that long, that, you know, they've been considered, you know, bad. But I also wondered why. So when I looked up the reasons for why and where the origins for it came from, apparently the Catholic Church at one point declared them officially a incarnate of Satan, which is horrible. Honestly, it kind of makes me want to adopt a black cat just for that reason, because that's just so mean. And I don't agree with that. You know, like I said, to each their own, what you believe or don't believe, but I just think that's so wrong. But anyway, I also looked at what are just like with umbrellas, what are the ways that you can undo the bad vibes, because apparently it was, you know, considered bad luck for a black cat to cross your path. I remember that. And I know I've heard things as silly as, like, you know, spitting over your left shoulder or something along that line. But one of the things I looked up that I thought was kind of funny was that it said walking in a circle, then walking backward to where you cross paths with the cat, and then counting to 13. I just thought, imagine how funny you would look, and especially if you're like back in like the 13th century and you're on, you know, walking along, you know, the peasant road, and someone catches you walking in a circle backwards and then counting to 13. You'd probably end up in jail somehow or something else terrible. I don't know. I just feel like that would probably make your situation worse and then inadvertently create the bad luck. I don't know. But that's just what I thought about that, and I just wanted to add that in there because I know black cats get a bad rap because of that superstition, which I don't like. But anyway, if you own a black cat, comment below. Let me know what their name is. I know one of the most common names is Binks because of the movie Hocus Pocus, but definitely love people having pets if you own a black pet in general, because I know, again, they tend to get a bad rap. I think The Omen also had a part in that by making a black dog part of the whole devil vibes in their movie. So anyway, if you own a black pet and you love them and they're sweet as the day is long, comment below. Comment below about what you think about superstitions, if you would like to see more content about them, if you believe in them, what is your biggest superstition and why you believe in it, and where you had it come from in your family, just because I'd like to know. I think that's just an interesting topic of conversation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you, again, haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can get notified on my next video. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.